Welcome to our last and final video for the entire coverage of the regulatory framework for business transactions. And our last topic will be Ease of Doing Business Act or Republic Act number 11032. Based on the current TOS of the BOA, this particular topic would account for one question. No? Tumataginting na one question ito sa board exam. At any rate, so the coverage of the law is that it is applicable to all types of government offices and agencies, even LGUs. In fact, later on, sa dulo, meron pa tayong specific rules that are mandatorily required or, that the LGUs need to comply with. Even GOCCs and other government instrumentalities, even if they are located abroad, kino-cover na rin yan. So, pati ang ating mga consular offices and diplomats, or the embassies will also be covered by this particular law that provides services covering business and non-business related transactions as defined in this particular law. And how did the law define business and non-business transactions? Business transactions will be those a set of regulatory requirements that a business entity must comply with to engage, operate, or continue to operate a business. So, papasok dito ang ating mga mayor's permit, BIR Certificate of Registration, DTI Certificate of Registration, or SEC registration for that matter. So, lahat yan are considered as business-related transaction, including your barangay permit. Pati yung mga binabayaran nating regulatory fees sa local government, mga fire fee sa Bureau of Fire Protection, garbage collection fee or garbage fees, lahat kasali because they are required to be processed prior to starting a business or in order to continue operating such business. And all other types of transactions will be regarded as non-business transactions. But again, both are covered by the same law. Okay, now, the rules in accessing government services. So, first will be the process concerning applications or requests and their particular acceptance. So, tatanggapin ng officer or employee, normally meron tayong tinatawag na officer of the day, lalo na kung ito ay malaking agency like the BIR. Okay? So, they will accept the written application request together with all the documents, supporting documents that will be submitted together with the application or request. Okay? And pagkatapos yan, magkakaroon ng preliminary assessment as to the completeness of the application or request and the completeness as well of the supporting documents in order to ensure na kapag pinrocess na actually yung application mo, kompleto lahat ng dokumento at nandun lahat ng kakailanganin in order to process the application or request. Now, initially, dahil sa preliminary assessment, if there will be any deficiency in the accompanying requirements, then i-inform kagad ni receiving officer or employee kung ano yung kulang para masabihan kagad itong si applicant. And take note that the requirements that will be required to be submitted together with the application will be indicated in what we call as Citizens Charter. So pag kayo ngayon ay pumunta sa mga government agencies, even hospitals and BIR, meron ng mga nakapaskil na Citizens Charter which lays down the process on each and every type of application or request and the accompanying period within which they should be processed. So, ando na rin yung mga supporting documents na kailangan i-submit at yun lang din ang magiging basis ni receiving officer as to whether your submitted documents are complete or deficient. Okay? Pagkatapos yan, mag-i-indicate ng unique identification number on the application or request na yan ang magiging parang control number in relation to that particular request or application. Para sa mga susunod na mga transaction as well as following up on the status of your application or request with the government agency. Now, after that, mag-i-issue ng acknowledgement receipt na natanggap na yung application as well as the supporting documents that will contain the seal of the agency, the name of the responsible officer or employee that is receiving your application or request, as well as his unit and designation, and the date and time of receipt. Kaya sa iba, binago nila yung mga stamps nila when the law became effective kasi lahat ito are required to be indicated in the acknowledgement receipt. Normally, merong receiving copy ang isang aplikante, no, at doon tinatatak yung acknowledgement receipt na yan. Okay? Now, this probably would be the most important part, no? The limitations or the prescribed periods within which the government agency, instrumentality, or office is required to process, no, a particular application or request, which will be indicated also in the Citizens Charter that we mentioned earlier. So the transaction here are classified into form, no? And depending on the type of transaction, andun yung prescribed period. So una will be simple transactions. So as the transaction will be considered as simple when it will only require ministerial actions on the part of the public office or employee, which means na hindi kailangan mag-decide on any issue, no? Talagang tatanggapin lang niya at i-approve agad dahil nakapag-apply ka na at wala na kailangan pang i-evaluate. Pero kung may issues man, but the issues are inconsequential, meaning napakaliit na mga issue lang, okay, simple transaction pa rin ang kanyang classification. In which case, the maximum period to process will be 3 working days from the date of receipt. Okay? The other category will be complex transactions. As the name suggests, no, and compared to simple transactions, may issues na involved in complex transactions and they are complicated in character, such that the processing officer or office or government office will require a longer time than 3 days to process your application or request because it will necessitate evaluation or resolution of the complicated issues related to your application or request. In which case, the maximum period to process will be 7 working days. Ngayon, meron naman tayong tinatawag din na highly technical application. As the name suggests, it will require the use of technical knowledge, a specialized skill, and or training. So, pwedeng pumasok siguro dito mga application for patent, no? Na invention is highly technical in character that has to be evaluated properly. Okay? Or, even if they won't require the use of technical knowledge, skill, or training, but they pose a danger to public health, public safety, morals, and public policy, in which case, the maximum period to process will be 20 working days or as determined by the respective government agency or instrumentality, whichever is shorter, no? So kung sanabi ng agency, kakailanganin namin ng 40 working days to process this, then the 20 working days prescribed by law will be applicable. Okay? Ngayon, the fourth, no, will be those that require the approval of a local sanggunian. So sangguniang bayan for municipalities, sangguniang panglusod for cities, and sangguniang panlalawigan for provinces, no? So in which case, kung kakailanganin ng approval ng local sanggunian, then bibigyan sila ng 45 working days to act on the application or request, which can be extended with another 20 working days, no? And if the application or request will be denied by the local sanggunian, they will provide the reason for the denial as well as the necessary remedial measures, no, na kailangan gawin ng aplikante in order for the application to be approved. Kumbaga, sasabihin nila, ito ang kulang or ito ang kailangan mong gawin para mag-reapply at ma-approve ang iyong application. Okay, so those will be probably the most important things you'll remember here, no? So 3 working days, 7 working days, 20 or as determined by the government office, whichever is shorter, and 45 working days plus 20 working days in case approval of the sanggunian is required. Okay? Now, however, an extension may still be provided within the same number of days. So for simple transactions, 3 working days and it can be extended for 3 working days as well. No? Hindi pwedeng 7. Kailangan same number of days lamang. And in case, no, that an extension will be necessary on the part of the government office, then a notice has to be provided to the applicant or requesting party in writing. Dapat i-inform siya na kakailanganin pa na longer period to process his application as well as the estimated final date of release, no, with regards such application. Now, however, of course, to take into account force majeure or natural or man-made disasters, ang effect niya is that there will be damage or destruction as to the documents or system failure, then magkakaroon ng suspension nung applicable period and appropriate adjustments will be made. So, kung 3 araw hindi makapasok kasi baha yung paligid ng office na yon, napapasukan ng mga officers, then tatanggalin yung 3 days na yan covered by the force majeure from the determining whether nag-comply within the prescribed period or prescribed period within which to process the application or request. Now, so ito lang maganda kasi naglagay na ngayon ng batas ng automatic approval or extension, which means that if there is inaction or there was failure on the part of the government office or agency to approve an original application or request, it is deemed approved already. Ang condition lang dyan, lahat ng documents have been already submitted and the necessary fees or charges have already been paid. Procedurally, ang ginagawa dito ngayon, kapag hindi pa rin na-approve within 3, 7, or 20 working days, whichever is applicable on your application or request, pupunta ka ngayon doon sa anti-red tape authority. And sila na ang mag-evaluate whether all documents are submitted and all fees and charges have been paid in order for there to be effective approval na rin ng iyong application or request. But notwithstanding that, sabi ng batas, anong panghahawakan ko ang magiging problema ng mga tao? Kung ako kunwari ay nag-apply for a mayor's permit para sa aking negosyo, anong panghahawakan kong proof na meron talaga akong permit to operate my business? Sabi ng batas, the acknowledgement receipt as to the submitted application or request and the official receipt, providing that the fees have already been paid, will be enough proof already and will have the same force and effect as if you have a license, clearance, permit, certification, or authorization. Yun na ang panghahawakan mong lisensya or permit to operate your particular business. Ito, with regards renewal lang, yung kanina will be the rules concerning original applications or requests. Ito for renewal. Ganon din, if it is not acted upon within the prescribed processing time, hindi nagbigay ng approval, hindi nagbigay ng denial, it is deemed extended already. But for this particular purpose, required lang itong Civil Service Commission, DTI, SEC, DILG, and the other agencies that will formulate the implementing rules to provide a listing of the transactions that they encounter and classify them accordingly, whether they are simple, complex, or highly technical in character, or that they pose danger to public health, safety, morals, and public policy. Para lang it will be taken into account in implementing or in drafting the implementing rules and regulations. All right. Now, with regards denial, so there are specific requirements of the law in order for there to be a proper denial of an application or request. So the denial shall be, number 1, explained in writing. Kailangan in writing pang ibibigay yan kay sa applicant, and it will state the name of the person making the denial, which normally would be the head of the particular department or office, and the grounds upon which the denial is based. Logical lang naman kasi para aware ang applicant as to why my application or request has already been denied, para din magawa niya ng paraan or makorek niya in case na gusto niya talagang i-push yung kanyang application or request. Okay? Now, ito lang attaches responsibility to the highest authority of that particular government office or agency, which means that any denial coming from division heads will also be treated as a denial coming from the department head or the head of that particular agency or office, para lang magkaroon ng specific responsibility concerning such particular denial. Hindi niya pwedeng idahilan na, hindi, yung employee ko ang nag-deny niyan, hindi ako. Of course, if he's given the authority to deny, then that is deemed a denial coming from the boss as well. Ngayon, naglagay din ng batas ng limitation on the number of signatories that will be required in any document, and 3 lang ang maximum signatories. In fact, the law also provides that in case the authorized signatory is on an official business or official leave, which means wala siya dun sa office para pirmahan yung document or request or application, then there should be a designated alternate signatory para tuloy-tuloy lang ang pagpaprocess kahit pa siya ay naka-OB or naka-leave from office. Okay? Now, also, there was a mandate na pwede nang gumamit ng electronic signatures and pre-signed, okay, license, clearance, permit, certification, or authorization basta merong adequate security and control mechanism. In fact, ginagawa na yan ngayon ni DTI. Si DTI, naka-electronic signature na lang ang DTI secretary sa iyong DTI Certificate of Registration. Okay? And also, minamandate na rin na kung maaari or mag-a-apply, gumawa na rin kayo ng electronic version ng mga permits, licenses, which is being done already by the DTI. Pag nag-register ka ng trade name, dire-diretso na lahat online, pati ang payment, i-email na lang sa'yo in PDF format yung certificate of registration, bearing the electronic signature of the DTI secretary, which for purposes of the law, will have the same level of authority as if it is a signed hard copy. Ipiprint mo na lang, parang yan na rin yung galing mismo sa DTI. Now, so also mandating hindi naman prohibition, pero para walang tigil sa pagpaprocess ng particular government office or agency, they have to draft a particular working schedule na magkakaroon ng shifting to the sense na kahit lunch break yung iba, tuloy-tuloy pa rin ang pagpaprocess. Kaya nga pag pumunta ka ngayon sa mga government agencies, meron na ngayon mga nakapaskil dyan na no lunch break because at any time of the day within working hours, nagwo-work or merong schedule of shifting para laging merong nagpa-process ng mga application. In fact, minamandate din that there should be appropriate working schedules para yung mga taong nakapasok na sa office pero nag-cut off na, ibig sabihin pagpasok mo kunwari 4:59 hanggang 5 p.m. lang ang schedule kunwari ng agency, ipaprocess pa rin ang iyong request dahil nasa loob ka na prior to the end of the official working hours. Okay? Now, ito na ngayon, ang last part natin will be on the procedures required in the local government. So, sabi dito, the LGUs are mandated. In fact, binibigyan sila on one particular requirement ng a certain number of years to comply. I think it's 3 years. And the law became effective 2018, so they should be able to comply with that by 2021. So ano ang mga required sa kanila? Unang-una, dapat iisa na lang ang business application form. So sa lahat na kailangan mong bayaran, yung mga regulatory fees, even the fire fee for the Bureau of Fire Protection, the local business taxes, that all are required in order to renew your business permit with the local government, isang form na lang ang pwedeng gamitin. In fact, hanggat maaari, nire-require ito na sana available siya online. I don't think all the LGUs have complied with this already, but there are some that are able to process the application for renewal of permits online na. Okay? And the hard copies of the unified forms, single unified business application form will also be available in the office or the agency at any given time of the day. Now, also, it mandates the creation of a one-stop business facilitation service which shall be known as a Business One-Stop Shop or BOSS. And ito, yung mga BOSS nasa mga negosyo center ng city or municipality. As the name suggests, it is a one-stop shop. Whenever you want to put up business, lahat ng kailangan mong permits and licenses, isang lugar lang ang pupuntahan mo. Hindi yung katulad ngayon or before the law, pupunta ka ng barangay para kumuha ng barangay permit, pupunta ka ng city or municipality to get a mayor's permit. Pagkatapos yan, tsaka ka pupunta ng DTI for registration of the trade name or SEC for that matter, and tsaka ka pupunta ng BIR para sa iyong BIR registration. So with the one-stop shop, dapat lahat ng kailangan mong applyan nandun na mismo sa one-stop shop na yan. Para pagpasok mo at paglabas mo, registered na supposedly ang iyong negosyo. Di ba? Napakaganda, kung talaga may implement ng maayos ito. Okay? So, it is mandated that there should be a queuing mechanism in the BOSS, yung Business One-Stop Shop, in order to manage the flow among the LGU's departments receiving and processing application. In fact, dapat magkaroon ng co-location of office. Ngayon, sa ibang local government, no, ibang area pa ng City Hall ka pupunta para magbayad ng real property tax, ibang area pa yung para kumuha ka ng sedula, iba pa yung area para magbabayad ka ng local business tax, iba pa yung engineering to get a particular permit, no? So, ang nire-require ng batas dito is that they are co-located in the sense na hindi ka napapagod puntahan lahat itong mga portion ng local government units na yan, no? Particularly those engaged in starting a business dealing with construction permits. Okay? Ngayon, it is also mandated that the cities or municipalities should automate their permitting and licensing system or set up an electronic BOS or business one-stop shop. Now, within a period of 3 years, ito yung sinasabi natin, dapat by 2021, the law was published on May 18, 2018. No? Kaya hanggang 2021 na lang ang period nila para mag-comply dito sa requirement of automation for renewal and application for a mayor's permit. Okay? So, they will develop also electronic versions of the permits, licenses, and clearances, katulad dun sa provision for the national government, no, na diniscuss natin kanina, na kapag pinrint mo, will have the same level of authority as if it is the hard copy. No? Kaya pareho yan. This is just provided for LGUs, pero yan na rin yung requirement kanina. Yung may example tayo na DTI. No? And to lessen the transaction requirements, other local clearances such as, but not limited to, the sanitary permits, environmental and agricultural clearances will be issued together with the business permit. Although ito naman, kahit manual pa ang process, I think ginagawa na. No? Kasi pag declare mo ng sales mo para magbayad ng local business tax, nandun na rin yung mga assessments para sa mga ibang regulatory fees, no, or charges that you have to pay for. Ginagawa naman na, no? Yes. May ginagawa na naman mostly ng mga local government units. Okay? And a business permit will have a validity of period of 1 year, and renewal can be done either on the first month of the year, which is January, hindi ko alam bakit hindi na lang January yung nilagay, no? Or on the anniversary date of the issuance of such business permit. Pero normally, ang renewal ginagawa talaga is January para sinasabay na sa payment ng local business tax as well as the payment of the real property tax. And with regards barangay clearances and permits, pwede na rin yan supposedly i-process doon sa munisipyo, no, sa city or municipality in accordance with the prescribed processing time, and then lahat na makokolekta ng local government na city or municipality that pertains to the barangay clearance or permit will be remitted na lang kay barangay. In short, dapat hindi ka na required, no, na pumunta pa kay barangay, then tsaka ka pupunta ng city. Pagpunta mo ng city hall or municipal hall, doon ka na rin supposedly kukuha ng barangay clearance or permit. And that concludes our last video for the entire RFBT subject. I hope you found our videos entirely helpful. And as always, you can post any question or ask me any clarification related to any of our videos. No? So good luck and God bless on your review.